Hey guys, in this video, I want to talk about the business side of pricing details for those of you who are struggling with this, talk about some pointers in terms of the places detailers struggle the most when they're starting out, and you can see how I priced this specific detail that you're watching, the interior detail of this Highlander. One of the number one issues most detailers in the beginning stages face when they're trying to price a detail is that they actually have no kind of fundamental foundation for how to judge the condition of a car. And so we end up buying into these different lies. One lie that a lot of detailers believe is I have to see the car in person in order to give a price over the phone. Another lie detailers believe is people want an exact price over the phone, and that's exactly what they're asking for when they say, what do you charge? Let me dispel both of these things. Number one, let's start with the second thing. Most customers want an exact price over the phone, and that's what they're asking for. Here's what I've learned in literally over 15 years of detailing. When customers ask you, what do you charge over the phone? What they are not asking is, give me an exact price, and if you can't name the price right now, I'm not going to work with you. What they're trying to do is build what I call a pricing anchor context. So let me give you an example. I am not an electrician. So when my electrician comes to my house and he says, hey, I can do this, and this is, basically what you're describing what you want. What I'm going to ask him is, can you give me a ballpark price so that I understand what I'm getting into? I'm not an electrician. I don't have the context in terms of what this is going to cost for materials and for labor. Can you help me understand that? My electrician can then say, yeah, you're looking at $1,200, maybe $1,500 max. That's the answer I want because it gives me the context from which I can make a decision as to whether or not I'm going to enter into the agreement. The same thing is true of detailing. Customers have a way upper limit in their head that they're going to be willing to pay, and as long as we can give them a price that is inside of a, let's just say, ballpark price anchor that they can sort of attach themselves to in order to move forward in the conversation, that's all they want. So don't confuse customers saying, what do you charge, with this idea of give me an exact price right now. The burden is on you to make sure you can quote me without asking me any questions. Like, you must do as I say, give me a price. That's not what's happening. They're trying to anchor themselves to some sort of arena to build a context to then have a greater conversation with you about their specific car, okay? That's really important. Now let me address the second big thing detailers struggle with, which is, well, okay, if I can give them a price range over the phone, how do I actually develop a price range when they're telling me what kind of car they drive and all that sort of stuff? There are actually 3 questions that if you were to only ever ask these 3 questions to the customer that you're talking to over the phone, you would still get a pretty accurate understanding of the condition of their car. The first question is, how many miles are on it? The second question is it a daily driver? And the third question is it garage kept / ever detailed? I kind of keep those 2 things in one. So the reason why I say those 3 questions are going to give you an extremely accurate condition, even if you literally never see the car or never ask another question, is because, once again, in over 15 years of detailing, what I figured out is that it is only going to be so dirty, okay? There are checkpoints. That's how I would describe it. There are thresholds that exist in mileage, right? Over 100,000, over 200,000, over 300,000, under 50,000, under 20,000. These give us a gigantic window into the potential condition of the car. The lower the mileage, the better. But there's a threshold past which, let's say 80,000, 100,000 miles, where cars tend to cross a condition threshold where past 100,000 miles, 120, 150,000 miles, I'm going to assume that this car has regular damage. Even when it's detailed, it's not going to ever be able to be detailed to perfection, especially if it's not detailed on a regular basis. Like, those are thresholds that indicate those things to me. Under 20,000, those are huge indications to me of the condition of the car. Okay, I can restore it back to a like new finish. Okay, it's probably already in really good condition. Okay, at most, I'm going to be dealing with, like, let's say the impossible carpeting that's keeping some debris, but not crazy staining, not a bunch of, blah, 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 blah. You get my point. Now let's go on to the second question, which is the car a daily driver? If the person says, no, this is not my daily driver, it's like, oh my gosh, yes, there's no need for me to step in front of this car in order to judge the general condition because of what you just said. It's a gigantic indicator of the cleanliness of the car. Whereas when somebody says, yes, this is my daily driver, once again, gigantic indication. Okay, got it. There's going to be natural wear and tear on the steering wheel. There's going to be leather rubbed down on those areas. I'm going to assume that there's probably some debris in the cracks and crevices between the passenger and the driver's seat that I'm going to have to blow out. Like, you understand, after seeing thousands of cars like I have at this point, those are things that you are going to naturally start to expect, right? These are just things that you learn to judge those things over the phone by asking those kinds of questions, because you realize that they're always correlated with each other. The daily driver question is a gigantic indicator into the condition of the vehicle. Now let's talk about the third one, because this is one that I love, because detailers, it hurts our egos so much. Is it garage kept / detailed regularly at all, or ever detailed? Let's start with the garage kept part of this, and I want to illustrate this talking about ceramic coatings. The number one thing that I will tell a customer when they pay for a ceramic coating is the best thing you can do outside of maintaining the vehicle itself is keeping the car in a garage. garage, it is going to be the #1 factor to the ceramic coating's lifetime success. Do not leave the car outside. The reason why a car being garage kept is so important is because when you keep a car outside, there are things you're going to have to deal with that you will never have to deal with if it's garage kept when it's not being driven. Tree sap, rain, normal precipitation in any given area over a 3 or 4 or 5 year period of time, it starts to oxidize the paint. You're getting in and out of the car outside, so you're dragging stuff from the street into your car rather than coming into the driveway, which is just a concrete pad for most people, and you're getting in and out of the car there, which keeps the interior far more clean. Again, it's one of those big domino questions that if you keep it in a garage, everything else starts to become easier. The second thing is it maintained or detailed ever? The reason why I asked that is because that's the last big domino question that you could answer next to is it garage kept, that is going to be one of those things that tells you is it in good or bad condition, because a car that is kept in a garage but never detailed versus a car that is kept outside but detailed monthly, I would argue that the car that's detailed monthly that is kept outside will still actually be in better condition than the one that is garage kept but never detailed, because the #1 thing, of course, anyone can do is regular maintenance on a car to keep it in perfect condition. And so if I have a customer or a potential lead who says yes, it's detailed monthly or bi-monthly or biannually or once a year, it's a huge indication to me that things are going to go a certain way. Because think about it like this: when a car is detailed, let's say twice a year, which is still relatively rare, but what it indicates to me as a detailer is even if the car is dirty, the dirt has not been sitting there for 3 years, therefore it can be pulled off and the car can generally be restored to perfection, because even if there is a lot of dirt, it hasn't corroded into the materials of the interior or exterior yet. It's what I would call surface dirt. It can be dealt with through regular detailing processes, right? Rather than a vehicle that's 4 years old, never been detailed, I know automatically, got it. It's never going to be restored to perfection. We're going to uncover a lot of damage, both interior and exterior. That's just the way it is. Hopefully this was helpful, guys. I'm going to be doing something next month that is going to be really, really heavy business stuff. So if you're interested in that, just stay tuned on the channel here. I'll be announcing it soon. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. And from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, remember, a great detailer is always learning, and I will see you in the next video.